feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I would just jump on while I'm setting up and talk to you guys because I got like another, couple of minutes of fixing a few things here. But I thought, while people pile in, because I don't think a notification went out because the show got cut short because of the timeline. So I don't think there would be one that would go out. I'm just setting this up. By the way, before we get into this has nothing to do with what we're about to talk about. So we have a few topics. We have the files. I have a couple of crime updates and something that happened in Thailand, which we don't really talk about Thailand very often. I want people in the chat. This is what I want you to do. People listening, people watching. What is this device? Well, this way. What is this device? Can you tell me what this is? Is it a PlayStation? Is it an Xbox? What is it? I would like to know if you can tell me what exactly this is. And then I'm going to show you another one. And it's because I want to like give you a point of view of something. And then I'll tell you about it. So can you tell me what this device, does anyone know what that might be? And like you might be able to see something on the screen. It's got sort of a funny shape. A thermostat. I don't think it's a thermostat. I don't think it's a thermostat. How about I show you a different one? And they're related, but they're not the same thing. What is this? Is this some sort of alien technology? Who's designing these things, right? So I was looking for a device because we've got some moisture near the back door, and I was having a look at some options for it, and I came across this. I think it's a humidifier. Looks like some sort of alien probe to me. And then there was the other one. This one. This is a dehumidifier. It looks like a PlayStation. Like, who designs this? What? How would you? How would you even know what this is? It's like, here's a random rectangle. Have a rectangle. Get a rectangle. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know who's designing this stuff, eh? It's it's so confusing when you go to buy one of these. You're like, what is this? I think this one looks the weirdest. Like someone in an office somewhere, someone in a tech design firm went, yes, this is what their customers will love. This is what they're looking for. The customers want something that looks like this. And everyone clapped at the meeting. They're like, yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's it. So if you've never seen these before, if you go to buy a humidifier or something, that's what they look like now. Apparently, that's not what I ever thought they would be. I think some people might buy that for their grandkids and be like, look, grandkid, I got you a PlayStation. Isn't this a PlayStation? Isn't this the thing that you've always wanted? I think maybe. All right. I think we've got enough people here now. All right, let's talk about. I got like several topics that I want to talk about. I just want to go through these UAP things very quickly because it's not often that the US government gives out these type of files. It's almost never because they have this sort of top-down approach of deny everything and you didn't see anything and aliens are actually weather balloons. Well, some of them are, but that's sort of the way they do stuff. They just don't want to talk about it ever. And I thought the sort of dump of files that we got was really interesting. And I want to show you a couple. And then we had one out of the Ukraine too. So I wanted to show you. Let's start with the one out of the Ukraine, and then we'll go to the US. And Ukraine, there's a lot of collaboration between US and the Ukraine at the moment. We know why. All right, this one came out of the Ukraine off their telegram from their defense minister. I want you to tell me what this might be. Let's have a look at it. What is this? So we're gonna you'll know it when you see it. It's not that. What exactly might that glowing star thing be that just popped up on the screen? I think they'll go back to it in a second. Where is it? There's another one over there apparently. Um, is he gonna go back to the star thing? Hopefully he does. There it is. What exactly might that be? Does anyone have any logical explanations of what that is? I'm open to it. If you guys got some sort of like explanation about this is some sort of military item or something like that, I'm all open to hearing like what it might be. But the fact that their defense minister put this out and was like, I don't know what this is. Yeah, you guys have a look at it. The fact that like they couldn't figure it out, all a bit strange. Now let's pause it. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. There you go. The hell is that? It looks like a star or something, some sort of multi-pointed object. I got no idea. I've got no idea. I'm not sure what that might be. And then there was another. So that's the only one I have from the Ukraine. Came out in the last few days as well for some reason. We seem to be getting all these videos from multiple countries. I know a lot of people into the whole UFO thing would probably be like, "Oh my god, it's disclosure! It's disclosure! It is upon us! Everyone, run to the mountains with your with your tinfoil or something." So I want to take you out to a different one from the US. In a psychic set, it looks like it's spraying chemicals. It definitely looks like it has a cloud of something, right? Some I don't know if that's emissions output from an engine or a chemical spray. I got no idea. You're right though. It has something emitting from it. All right, I got one from a U.S. Army base, and it's out of these files. It's not very long, but it's interesting. And why is that playing? Turn that off. All right, here we go. I want to show you this one.
No, yes, it's. You don't know, it's not all the way back? Yeah, that's not the place.
So not a very long clip, but it looks like what looks like a army base, right? And the guy in the clip says that's not the plane, and they're talking about this giant light in the sky with whatever that glowing thing in the middle is, and that's what he's basically saying. It looks weird. I don't know what it is. It could be some sort of light source, maybe. Oh, did it actually? Is that what we missed? Did it split into two? Hold on. I don't know if it did. I don't know if that's just changing perspective. It might be. Whatever it is, the military guys are very confused by what it is. I think they were waiting for like aircraft to come in and land, and they were like, "Well, that's we're not waiting on a plane. It's not one of ours. It's the moon. It could be the moon. Maybe that's why they're confused. They're like, we haven't seen one of them before. Never seen one of them. Not a moon. All right. So I'll show you a couple others. So these came out. This is from the Department of. They used to call it the Pentagon. They now call it the Department of War, but it used to be called the Pentagon's a building, but you know what I mean. So let's show you some others. I have a couple more. There's this one here, which is pretty good. This one's a little freaky because I want you to tell me who might be operating this. So what I kind of wonder is if it's not aliens or something like that, who might be operating something like this? Is it an enemy? Is it someone trying to spy on Western military or something like that? Who would have this type of technology? Like, that's what is the question, really. Like, I reckon most of you, how many of you think it's like from outer space? I want to know, like, how many think this is like ET? And how many do you think it's most likely some sort of terrestrial technology that someone's got a hold of? Like, I think that's where like the sort of the different mind shift between people might be at is here. We'll play the video, but so when you watch this, I know it's a little hard to see, but you'll see some orbs pop up, and there's multiple of them surrounding this submarine. And I don't know if can you guys see them on this video? You should be able to. Where are they? They're pretty tiny on this video. Let's see, 28 seconds. We'll probably see it eventually. There he is. There's one, but there's like, if you really watch this video, there's like several, and they were all. There's another one. There you go, going in a different direction. There's his friend, and there's his buddy. Where are they off to? I don't know. So there you go. You see it just, the speed that they go at, the sort of size that they are. They're not the size of like a plane or something. And I mean, it is flying pretty quick too. And then they're going to go back to the submarine. Drones? You guys think there might be drones? Might like an advanced type of drone? I mean, what's the thing they say about the military? That the technology that we know about is from 50 years ago. And the technology that they're using today, we won't find out about until 50 years in the future. That's sort of that's sort of the saying about the US military is that, yeah, a lot of the stuff they use now, they won't be disclosed to the public until 50 years in the future. So we'll see. But yeah, really trippy video. Where multiple of them came from, why? There he is. He's right on the bottom again. Just traversing the ocean around this military asset. And there's another one. I don't know if we can find it. The file's quite large. There's like 50 of these files. There's one of on a water, like the ocean, and they actually appear from the surface of the ocean. 3 of them, and they come out of the water. Some sort of amphibious. I don't know what it is. A drone, maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to find the one over the water because that one's really good. But they've got about 50 different of these files. I'm trying to find, where's the one on the ocean way? Maybe this one? There's also this one. And we'll see it in a minute. I like the black bars and everything. It's like we're watching an illegal movie that was filmed in a cinema. It's like they're blurring all the codes out and stuff. That's what it's like. All right, so we're watching this scope on something. And you see the ocean, I'm guessing. And you see where we are north to, is north. All right, what are we actually looking for? think this one's a little hard to see. There he is. Finally, there's a little white ball. Oh, wow, there's, like I think there was, like, 2 others in the background. Why is there so many? So, you guys let me know what you think these things are. I'm not sure. I mean, I think there could be multiple, explanations for them. I think people saying, like, "Oh my god, they're ET," or what I don't think that. I think maybe most likely they might be, maybe some sort of foreign tech or tech oh, there he goes. Really close up view. You guys let me know. Hey, SP Mama, how are you? So yeah, I think it's interesting. If you want to like look at these, you can. They're open on the web under the Pentagon website, and you can watch them and download them. I think it's a pretty big file actually. Here's another one just for your so metallic ball seems to reflect sunlight. You can see the sort of glow off it. Do you notice how they're all a lot of them are over water? There are not a lot of them over land. We have a few on land, but a lot of them are over the okay, we got blocked out. But a lot of them are over the water. I mean, I guess the world is mostly water, so that might be why. Hey Linux, what's up? Plasma drones. So you think it's some sort of terrestrial tech or something like that? Could be. Sean says metal hubcaps with flat plastic ones. UFO photos almost ceased. Well, I mean, people could be dressing up their drones like with alfoil and then flying them over the ocean. Do you know what they might be? You know, like when you buy your kid a drone for Christmas, and then like they're like, Can we go play with it?" And you're like, "Yeah, we have to go to a park or the beach." And you're like, "Great, let's go down there on Christmas Day." And you set up the drone and you make it go in the air, and then it just flies away, and you never see it again. It just flew 2 miles away into the ocean. That may be what this is. They're just lost drones that kids got from Christmas, and they're just continuing. They're just, like, continuing flying, that's it. Over the ocean, never to come back to the children who got them as Christmas presents. Possibly, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Either way, it's freaky, and the fact that they track so many of them. I think the thing with this file dump is that they didn't give us any context. They just went, "Here's some videos, and we're not going to tell you what or why we selected these particular videos." And I think that's part of it. Is like, could you tell us a little more? Any of these something you haven't seen before? Is the military worried about this? Oh, actually, there's one here. Ah, where is it? They actually shoot one down. There's one here. Hopefully, I can find it. They actually fire on one and blow it up. Where is it? Hopefully, I can find it. Yeah, they actually in this file. They actually shoot one and blow it up. Hopefully, I can find that. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. If I can find it, I will play it for you. But they actually fire on one and then it just goes kaboom and blows up. No, it's not that one. This one? Nope. All right, guys, give me a sec. I'll try find it because I think that one's really interesting. Oh, yeah, here. I found it. All right. So here you guys go. So they got it in the sight. Whatever that thing dangling from it, there you go. Blown up. They fired on it. And I think there's a second one. There's a couple where they actually blow them up. That thing almost looks like a balloon. Look. Let's go back. Come on, give us our. There's something dangling from the item here, like the circular thing. Almost like they blew up a Mylar balloon or something. And then they, kaboom, it's gone. So if you want to check these out, I will give you the link and you could probably spend, I don't know, a few hours doing this and just going through all these weird files and having a look. And there's just some really weird stuff like this one. This is like some sort of black ball. Could be a balloon. Oh, you guys can't see that one? Hold on. There we go. There you go. Check this one out. This will play with the last one we do. Some sort of black orb. Could be a Mylar balloon. Could be a grape. Someone lost a grape and it's just floating in the atmosphere. Could be that too. Has anyone lost a grape out of the ship? Who's eating grapes? Who's eating blueberries? Look at it. It's just floating away. So yeah, this one, I'm not sure where this one is. It doesn't have a title of where in the world it might be, but it is something that they witnessed. So it's a kid's birthday party balloon that got out of control. That's what it is. No. Kelly said these files are so interesting they've been released. Well, the question I ask is, why these ones? Why this set of files in particular, not the ones that everyone asked for? So, what do you think in US history is the biggest event for this type of thing that you could think of? Like, what is the one event that sort of everyone knows about? There's a specific location where everyone goes, and there's even alien stuff there. It's one from a long time ago. It would have to be Roswell, right? So why give us this and not the Roswell files? The Roswell's the beginning of all this, and it's the one that everyone wants to know about. It's the one that everyone wants to find out. Did they find a craft? Did they find the aliens or whatever? Did they actually find that craft? Was there anything found? That that would be way more valuable to the public than whatever this is. Because we don't have any context. Like this literally could be a balloon. I mean, it's not changing direction. It seems to be on one heading and it's not doing that. There is a couple of files in this batch of files where you see things just go ka-chunk, and they just take off at like speeds that we can't do in modern aircraft. But this one, once a balloon gets up into the atmosphere and gets into like the jet stream, it can do stuff like this. Pilots have seen them flying in the atmosphere before, so could be that. Linux said in World War II there was a craft over Washington that people called a UFO. Wow, that is true. Kelly said I have a lot of questions too. Me too. So I know this is not something we do here, but I just thought it would be interesting to sort of have a look at it because it's just not every day you get this type of stuff from the government. And I was like, well, we normally do crime documents or something like that, but I'm always open to having a look at maybe something in the UFO realmy type stuff. I'm always looking for some sort of proof that maybe they exist or something. I think this may be a better question. How many of you think that we're alone in the universe is the first part. And then the second part is, How many of you, if that is yes, if the answer is yes, how many of you think that those people have somehow advanced their technology faster than we have and are somehow able to visit our Earth? Because I think that's the two-part problem with the UFO thing, is that there has to have been a different life form or something on in our galaxy or further. They would have had to have, I don't know, advanced faster than the human race and then developed some sort of craft that can travel. I saw a talk on this a few years ago, and they were saying that the chances of that actually being a real thing was actually pretty small. The fact of there being life out in the universe beyond us is actually pretty high. So that's probably the sort of 50-50 on it. Sean says, I love seeing this stuff. Oh, I hope you like seeing it. I thought you guys might be a bit bored because it's not, crime files or something like that. I just thought it's Friday night. We might do something a little bit different. And the fact this came out overnight, I was like, hey, we'll have a look at it. Something different. There's also this one. Where is it? There's also one from NASA on here. It constantly doesn't take you to the new one. Yeah.
A few very bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver.
Roger, understand.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window there. Just bright. Looks like the 4th of July out Ron's window. Yeah, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling.
Roger, they look like fluid of some sort?
Not to me. They look like pieces of something.
Roger.
They're very bright.
Jack, we'd like Omni Charlie.
So they're talking about fragments of something, and he says it looks like the 4th of July out there.
And now at 1 hour at this time, I now have 1 hour and 21 minutes, and I am observing John's fireflies drifting away from me. I can observe them appear to be departing from the spacecraft and drifting out to the rear. I can see some of them a considerable distance out to the rear. Sun is coming up behind me. I'm beginning to get the glow on the clouds. Fireflies appear to be white, very whitish, with almost a green like real fireflies.
Yeah, fireflies. I don't know what that means, but apparently fireflies. I'm not sure.
A brilliant blue of sun rising in the east, bright blue band underneath all this haze layer. I can see the haze layer and the bright band of light demarcation coming underneath it. Quite distinctive. There's a faint to it. Is where there are clouds, apparently. Roger, Hawaii, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger, Hawaii, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger, understand. Roger, I'm just small end forward, 180 degree yaw, approaching sunrise. Those are the little doors, sound like the little doors blowing open, so I assume the beacon has departed. Roger, understand. Got here on manual proportional control. I'm at last daylight going into dark. I've been looking for the flashing beacons. 50518 now. It is flashing now. It is the light.
I think he's talking to like about some sort of beacon that they may have released for some reason. I'm not sure there's anything that suspicious in that one unless I missed it myself, but there's quite a few NASA audio files in here. For what reason these were put in here, I got no idea. But there's quite a lot of them in here. Let me see if I can get anything more fun for us to have a look at. Maybe this one. What's this one? We're gonna have another orb to have a look at. Let's see, what are we looking at? Oh, there he is. There you go. They're tracking it now. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here if you guys want to have a look at it and see what you think yourself. Cold Case Girl said, there must be something at Roswell because people have come forward saying they were threatened not to say anything of what they saw. You know, to me, that's a funny type of. Yeah, I think you have to understand the time period. There was always a cloak of secrecy with the government, especially the U.S. government, where they had a real thing about not upsetting the public. Like they didn't want the public to be scared or worried. They don't want to incite some sort of panic across the USA. So they often did this type of thing, even if it was about nothing. They just wanted people to, live their lives, not worry about things. And it was something, yeah, 1947. So this is something they often did. They would often go and threaten people and be like, "Hey, don't talk about that." And it was like they call them the Men in Black. Bees, hey, my friend, how are you? Good to see you. So yeah, a lot of videos. Maybe we can look at the one with there's one that had like an actual really good up close of one. We may have looked at that one. Actually, this one's pretty good. Let's have a look at this one. There you go. Over something that's not water for once. It's very, very small, but you can see it. Could be another balloon. I don't know. The way I look at these is the ones that just head in a straight line, I'm not that interested in. I want the ones that defy gravity or defy physics that we know. Like something that's just floating across the sky could be like 10 different things. They're not the ones I'm super worried about. It's the ones that can change direction and then take off. They're the ones I think have more legitimacy than something just floating in the sky because we know there's multiple things in our world that can do that. So I more look for the ones that can't produce that type of result. I have to close some of these tabs. We have far too many. So yeah, there's one of the others. See what else we got. What's this one? Ah, they're tracking one down there. There you go. So that's what these files are. And yeah, it's interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about this type of stuff in like almost 1,000 videos. I don't think we've ever spoken about this type of topic. Sean said, if we had captured a spacecraft, why did we use the Saturn rocket 20 years later? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that maybe that's not how it works. I think it's more that if we did get something, we would, we don't know how it works. We don't have that knowledge. So I think a lot of it would have to be reverse engineered, and that may be why some of the technology we do have is better. Could be. I mean, that's always been the explanation, is that if we did find that, we could only take small parts of it because we don't fully understand how it was made. Lynn said, the one we saw was at night, made multiple angle turns, stopped and started, and speed was beyond anything here on Earth possible. Yes, they're the ones that I'm interested in, the ones that can defy our physics. But there was one in here. I should have pulled it out of the files before I got on the live show. There was a good one on here that literally just went in the opposite direction after it was spotted. Actually, this one's a good one. Have a look at this one. Go to this one here. All right. So they're going to follow this like what looks like an orb, but then have a look at the friggin' shape of it. So when they first get on it, it looks like just an orb sort of thing. And you see it there. There it is. They'll eventually target lock onto it and start following it. And this one seems to be emitting something, some sort of, glowing heat source of it. And then they eventually get a good view of it, but now it's no longer an orb. Did you see that? Like, it's an orb-looking thing in that frame, and then they get onto it on a different view, and it's no longer an orb. It's some sort of weird V shape. There you go. It then changed to that, and then it merges and merges into a different shape several times. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look like a balloon to me. And why is it like sort of separating and then doing weird things? Callie Girl said there's a YouTube channel called Norwegian Spiritual Anomaly that is spiral anomaly that is fascinating. I think I've seen that one. It looks like the blue spiral in the sky. I've seen that one. Lindy said there was no sound. It was scary. I was a total skeptic until that night. It still gives me chills now, 65 years later. I bet it would. I saw one in Melbourne, and for a long time I was like, nah, it was just some sort of like, we get a lot of stars and things here that we can see because we're so far south of the equator. And I was like, nah, it's just a star or something, Venus or something like that. But I read a post by someone about a year ago from someone who saw something very similar. And it blew my mind because he mentioned something that I've never heard anyone say before. And I was like, hold on a minute, maybe I did see something? Anyway, he mentioned that he saw something in the sky, and then when he was looking at it, he had this weird telepathic thought that he wasn't allowed to look at it and that he should look away. And it's so funny because the night I saw that one in Melbourne, I had the same thing. It was so bright in the sky, and it was almost like you can't look at this. You should look away. And it was almost like not my own thoughts. And it's so strange because I've never had that feeling in my life. And to see someone else write about it, and then I came across it totally organically, and see that somebody else had a similar experience, I was like, I'm a skeptic of everything. and I'm still not 100% sure what it was. But yeah, weird that some other person on the opposite side of the world had the same type of feelings. It could be some sort of psychological effect too. Something like, I don't know, we've been conditioned to not believe that these are real or something to provide validity to. Not sure, but interesting to see someone else come with the same experience. Kelly said the lights in Arizona were crazy back in the late 90s. That is true. They are pretty interesting. It would be nice to know what it was. I think the Arizona thing is a problem because there's two separate events with the Arizona thing, and people often get confused between them. There was one that was earlier in the night, and then there was one that was later in the night, and people often get confused between both of them and think they're the same thing, but they're actually not. One of them was the military actually doing some military experiments, flying. I think they were parachuting or something, and then there's one that's earlier that doesn't have an explanation. Hey, hey, Bligsy Beats. Hey, good to see you. Says I've seen multiple orbs. I have not seen an orb. I don't think I've seen that, but I'm glad you've seen it. Where exactly was this? You don't have to give us your address, but in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, that would be good to know. Um, Penguin said no flat earthers or Luddites. That's right. I don't think we've ever done any flat earth. I don't think we believe the earth is flat as such. Inner Psychic said more likely you've been conditioned to believe in aliens from outer space when these are here on earth with us and live underground in the second dimension. Could be an explanation. East Coast USA. You know, it's funny you say that. There are so many people from the East Coast USA who reckon they've seen this type of thing, and it's interesting because in Australia it's not that common. I mean, it happens. There are reports every so often. There's sometimes grouping of reports every so often. But in America, on the East Coast or the West Coast, sometimes even in the middle of the country, there's just heaps of reports, like all throughout the year. It doesn't matter what time of year, whether it's winter or summer, especially in the USA, especially on the East Coast. There's a ton, especially if you're up north. If you're anywhere like the Carolinas or further north, like up into the far northeast, yeah, up in that region, around New York, Virginia, even further than that, Maine. There's a lot of reports out of there. Gail said, from some of the people I've seen, if there are aliens, they totally live among us. Wonder what some people think about the whole theory that, like, I'm sure you've all seen the weird videos of like people get these videos of like people talking like famous people and they're like, oh my god, they're a reptile. Look at the way the eyes blink. So I'm sure you've all seen those videos going around. Sean said, I follow anti-flat earth creators. I love it. Wasn't there a famous rapper who was big into the flat earth thing? Was it No, not MIA. Who was it? There was a famous rapper that was into it. Can't remember who it was. Oh yeah, B.O.B. You guys remember the guy B.O.B.? He sung that song Aeroplanes, pretty popular about 12 years ago. It was a good song. I think that was probably his biggest song, that Aeroplane song. He was really big into it at one point. I don't know if he still is. He got absolutely crushed by people, scientists, and all sorts of things when he publicly came out and said that he was that's what he believed in. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Just put this one up. We get a new video, so we can watch it while we talk. There you go. Some type of ship. Sean said crop circles only happen in regions where there's no food shortages. That's funny. You're probably right, Sean, because in places where there's food shortages, they're not going to waste food to make some sort of pretty photo. Unless the aliens know, Sean. Do the aliens know about the food shortages, and they're like, no, we can't do that to them. We have to be nice to them and not steal their food and send a message. Maybe. Kelly said, I love Crop Circles and the show. I've never watched that. I've never watched either of those, but there's another. I think it's funny. I've never heard that joke. That was good. Gail said, I don't think they are lizard people. They get that from the program that was on in the 80s. Possibly. Kelly said, like more for the history than the crazy alien theories. For the educational background, yeah. This is the UFO country. That is true. The America, the UFO country. Come and visit all our regional places and bring your camera. You might spot a UFO. That's great tourism. Great tourism for the US. Inner Psychic said, instead of poo-pooing what others believe, why not just keep an open mind? We are lied to, so better come to your own conclusions. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I didn't poo-poo you. I said, yeah, you could be right. I didn't say that. I said you could be right. Kelly said, there's some very unexplainable things on this earth. I think what's more concerning, why do you have people coming forward to government inquiries like in the US, and they're when you have these big inquiries in your government, you actually have people with the military coming out and reporting things that should be concerning to anyone. The fact that your military people, high-ranking military people, think it's a good idea to go and make a lot of this public. It takes a lot for someone to actually be like, I'm going to step out of line with my whole training and go against it and actually come to these insight committees and actually give what I know about the government and the operations and what we've seen and what videos we have and what programs we've worked on. It's, it takes a lot of, I think a lot of these guys are very brave to come forward, because 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, if you had come forward with this type of stuff to, a Congress Insight Committee, you would have been burnt at the stake. They would have come for you. They would have discredited you. They would have done everything they can, and 50 years later, no one would ever remember who you are. But today, it seems like it's much more, acceptable to come forward and speak about this stuff. So if you don't know, half of this stuff is because of those committees, and then they're doing all this UAP insight. So they're trying to find out more information for the public, and they're trying to get more things given to the public. Oh, there you go. This looks like over a residential neighborhood, and it looks like it's possibly at night. What was that? It's a bird. No, it's a giant bullet. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it's a funny shape. Isn't it? Like, it kind of, when you play the video, it kind of looks like a bowl, but when you slow it down, it's not. How many of you reckon that's a bird? It almost has a very bird shape to it. Maybe it's a very frightened bird at night. I don't know. It could be a UFO. That's a weird one. Whatever it is, it's moving very quick. Weird, and why there are... Oh, you guys can't see it. God, why does this thing not transfer over? God, this thing is annoying sometimes. We're loading it into the same screen, and it's supposed to go with it, and it doesn't. All right, here you go. You guys can watch it now. So that's what I was showing you, and then I was slowing it down, and when you slow it down and it gets back into the frame, here it is. It's very quick. Like, it's only like 2 frames, and it's out of there. but it's not circular. Whatever it is, it's more like a elongated whatever that is. Almost changes shape halfway through. And it's moving at a click too. 2 questions. Why do they have whatever this, I think this is probably like a Predator drone. I think something like that, either a Predator drone or a high altitude military drone, one of those ones that can float for like 24 days. And it's obviously keeping an eye on this, but this looks like a residential neighborhood. Why exactly are they hanging out over a residential neighborhood? I don't think we will ever know, and they're not going to tell us why they're here. But the fact that they're sort of looking in this area and then this thing, whatever it is, shows up. So you guys let me know what that is. Kelly said Dr. G has been over some of these videos and it's interesting. I agree. That's why I thought we'd have some fun tonight, do something slightly different, and have a look at these, because I just think there's just not every day we get this type of thing, and it's fun to have a look at. So this is one of the other ones. Looks like 3 boats on the water. Oh yeah, look at that, 3 orbs. I know it's very hard for you guys to see it. Yeah, it's in the bottom corner. 4 of them, not 3, 4 of them. What the hell? That's a bit weird. And then a 5th one at the end. Okay, that's weird. There's 4 in the bottom, and then 1 goes over the top near the end of the video. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, that's not balloons. That one's not. I don't think that one is a balloon. That's just too weird. Why would you have a grouping of 4 of them, and then 1 tries to catch up? Yeah, okay. That one's a little strange. I really wish I could find the one with the ocean. There's one with the ocean. Oh yeah, here. This is not the one that's coming out of the water, but it is a good one. I think this might be the other view of those 4 that we saw in that other video. They fly in a weird formation, like a 3x1 formation. Is that a military? Does anyone know their military flight patterns? Is a 3x1 formation anything that a normal military plane or any type of military craft would do in this particular way? That's because that's what my mind automatically goes to. Sean says, why are they near military so often? That is a good question. That makes me say, does it only have something to do with the military? Is it something like if the US is seeing it, is it one of the enemies? Is it their technology? And do we have the same technology? And we're using it on them? Very possible. Sean said, we should make Ping visit the Westall School for us. That's funny they should mention that, right, Mrs. Ping? With the Westall School? Yeah, like where the UFO happened. They have the park there. So there's a park at Westall. We've been up there, like I haven't, she has. There's a park up there, and there's a UFO toy. What is it? A UFO toy?
Something shaped like a UFO. Like
It's a toy, right? You can play in it.
Yeah, the kids play it.
Yeah. It's like a play area, and it's like a UFO shape, and you can head up there. It's like something you can do. Yeah, we could go up there one day. It's actually not crazy far from me. It's a little bit of a drive. I think, it's not super close to where I live, but it is not too far away. It's not like I'm going 12 hours away or anything. Kelly said, all my brother-in-laws are military and I still know nothing about the military. They like it like that. That's okay. In the military, you're only told what you need to know and never told everything. If you are told something is an alien craft, of course you would believe it. So they are not getting the full story. Well, I think this one's probably one of the better ones we've seen. And this one's 8 minutes long. They tracked this thing for like ages. Look, still going. They're still having a look at it. They tried to zoom in on it and see what the hell it is, but it didn't work. There you go. There's a good view of them. Let's go back. It's weird, right? What could these be? There you go. There's a good view of them. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Gail said, why fly so close unless they were drones? Like, so they knew how far away they were from each other? That's a good point. I really wish I could find that one with the water, how they come out of the water. No, it's not that one. That's a different one. So I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. So got a new one here. What are we looking at here? A lot of cloud cover wherever we are. This looks quite old. This video looks quite old. I mean, some of the other ones we've looked at look more modern. This one looks old, like maybe the 90s or early 2000s, something like that. This is not new video. You can tell by the interlacing. You see how it like wiggles? That's like interlacing of the video. It means it's very, very old. We don't use that type of technology anymore. Everything is digital now. So while, yeah, yes, some things are still using that, not very much anymore. It's pretty uncommon now. So this is a very old video. Sean would know. Sean, you've seen this before, this type of that wiggle on the video. It's very old. He would have seen it with the CCTV cameras. So what are we watching on this one? Why are they showing us this? They're like, here's some nice countryside. Oh, it's a black orb right here. So if we're to believe, there he is. He's very hard to see. This video is, the resolution is minuscule. Yeah, which leads me to believe it's a very old video. So that tells you that at least for a number of decades, they have been seeing these in daily military life. This is, I'm guessing this is from the I think it's the late 80s, early 90s, just judging by the colorization of the video and the type of video it is. I think it's got to be something like maybe could be early 2000s because military love to use things for like, you know, decades and decades. It could be early 2000s too, but I think it's most likely late 80s, early 90s. I think. So yeah, so maybe we'll go to Westall one day if that's something you guys really want to see. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. I hope you've got fruit salad. Hey, are you on your trip now, my friend? I hope you are. Hey, I'm gonna quickly have a look through these because I really want the one where they appear out of the water. Because that one's really interesting. Let me see if I can track it down. Because we've got like 50 files. We've only watched about 10 of them. Is it this one? No, that's an orb one. Yeah, you guys can watch this one for a bit while here, you guys watch this one for a little bit. while I try and scroll through a couple videos. Oh my god. Edge browser, can you F off? For the love of God, go away. Piss off. I hate the Edge browser. It's like you accidentally click it and it like ruins your day. It's like, go away. Nope, that's not it. So I'm going to keep looking. You guys have a look at that one. No, we did that one. Uh, so what are they showing us on the one you guys are watching? There he is. He's like in the center. Very high altitude, whatever this thing is. Oh my god, it's a black box. Oh my god, I've never seen one of them before. This is like groundbreaking information. There he is. The legendary black box on the screen. We've been waiting for this day for 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, and here it is. Why? I don't know, whatever that was they didn't want us to have a look at. And now we've got another giant. Oh my god, it's grown in size. There it is. Oh, what was that? There we go. Is that what they want us to look at? These orbs? Okay. It's definitely the water. Or it's could be sky cover. I don't know, guys. That was a weird one. I guess it's this one's a little hard to follow. Thanks, my friend. Let me have a look. I will have a look. That's for my friend. Let me see. I can't play this one on the show because unfortunately .mov files don't play in the browser. At least I don't think they do. I'll have a look. It might. Actually, that might play. Let me see. Nah, it won't play. I'll have to maybe make it into another video format. Yeah, friend, that's weird. I don't know what that is. I could take a screenshot though. So a viewer from the chat, I don't want to name them. And I want to put her screenshot up on the screen. Apparently, yeah. So they saw this in the sky, and in the video I just watched, she sent it to me. And in the video that I can see, unfortunately, we can't play .mov files on the streaming software. But I'm watching it now, and this thing is like floating across the sky pretty slowly. And it's a very bright orange. Very, very bright, almost like fire. It's almost like fire. You know, like Joey? It's fire. Yeah, it's very odd. Almost has like a flickering effect to it, almost like fire. It has like a very flickery quality to it. I'm not sure what that is in the sky. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hey Carolina. Yeah, I saw. It almost looks like fire. So that's why I think Sean's saying it could be a lantern. You might be right, Sean. Actually, that might be a Chinese lantern. You know, it has that look where it flickers, and it's almost like the tea light candle in it, like makes that look. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a UFO, but I wish I could play this video for you guys, but it's hard. It has some things that look like it, some things that don't. but then it almost has like a looping pattern like this. Like when you look at the video very closely, it almost loops the light. It almost goes like around and around and around. I wish I could play it for you guys, but I don't think I can turn it into an MP4 while we're on the air. I could do it when we're off the air. Can I turn this into an MP4 somehow? So people can convert and save, yes. No, it's not gonna work. Yeah, I can't do it while we're on the air. Sorry, my friend. I'd have to do it when we're off the air. Kim said, "What's funny is my husband and I had the same conversation earlier today." You did? Blixie said, "I've seen the orange orbs, but they didn't flicker." Yeah, this one, it's almost got a flickery or rotating sort of light almost to it. Very, very light. But you almost see like a looping effect, almost like around and around like this, but it's very light. Yes. Kim said, "What's funny is my husband had to say." What conversation is this? Gail said, "The fact we can still hear them in our heads means they did a fantastic job at entertaining kids and annoying the crap out of us parents." Possibly. Kelly said, "Did any of the videos have any date or anything that's been I think it's all been redacted. In the folder, there's not really anything. It's all just file names and random hash code. So they don't really tell us, where this came from, what year it was. They've all been specifically made to be disseminated to the public. So yeah, nothing that we can work with, unfortunately. Here we go. So here's another one for you guys to have a look at. Almost looks like a jellyfish or something. Could just be a balloon with a very long string. So that's a strange one. And you can see the difference between the modern cameras and the old school cameras, like the other video we showed you. Oh, that was it? Oh, it was only 30 seconds long. Okay. What the hell is that thing? It's a very strange object. It almost does look like a flying jellyfish or something. That's very odd. Come on, guy with the camera, catch up. Oh, he never did. Maybe it took off. Let's go back, see if we can get a good view of it. What do you guys think that might be? I'm out of ideas. I don't know what that might be. To me, I just see jellyfish because it kind of looks like a jellyfish with the glowing top and then the tentacles underneath. That is a weird one. Gail said, "Releasing things like this is just a magician's trick. Look at this and don't look what the other hand is doing, in my opinion." I have seen that criticism today that this whole UAP thing, because they've actually released it in two different traces, right? And a lot of people are saying that this is a big distraction from the war in Iran, that this is a distraction from things like the Epstein files and why we don't have, more of the Epstein files or whatever, all that type of thing. So that is what a lot of people are saying, that apparently it is sort of to keep the public busy while they're trying to do something else, which you guys could be right. But either way, it makes for a fun Friday night for us to have a look at them. Because I think look, you don't get a lot of military files like this. And Whether they are innocuous or not, we'll see. But at least we're getting something from the internal archives. Gail said, I've not looked at what anyone else said. Didn't even know this was out until I saw your thumbnail. Blixie says, finally some disclosure. I think that might be a good conversation to end this UFO bit on. What is disclosure and what would it actually mean to the public? But I think this is not disclosure. I think this is, like some other people saying, sort of like a magic trick. It is to distract people in a way. But to me, disclosure would be hardline facts. This is not hardline facts. This is just some videos with no context. That's not the same thing. And I think it would be President Donald Trump coming out and saying, we have UFOs. We have something like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we have solid proof. Like, this is where it came from. This is how we did it. We've known about it for this long. And, it has to have more context to it. That would be true disclosure. True disclosure would be like, we've known about aliens. We've known about them for multiple decades. Here's some proof. Here's a video. Here's the first one we found. We froze it. That type of thing. That would be like true disclosure. Espion said it's a fun Friday night. Yeah, you are welcome. It is it's just something different. Cold Case Girl said this is just like the JFK files release, no information at all. That was an interesting one. Caroline said aliens have landed. They are the best aliens ever. It could be right. Blixie said very partial disclosure. I think it's just the beginning. I know. I think a lot of people have heard the rumor that President Trump was given the green light to disclose to the American public about aliens. I know everyone's been talking about that for multiple months, and then he starts giving us little bits like this. We'll see if he actually gives us, because I've heard that there is a whole speech that he has already planned, had written, and had pre-approved to read to the public. Whether we actually get it and at what time, don't know. But that is the rumors going around DC, is that there is a speech and he does have the green light to give it. So Inner Psychic said, I doubt Trump knows either. Possibly not. Kelly said, didn't he say during re-election he was going to release the files? Probably. Says a lot of things. Some of them he does, some of them he doesn't. Blixie said it's something at least. It's better than nothing. It's better than years of people's grainy video going, it's the UFO. And you go, where is it? And you're like, it's that speck there on my video camera from 1975. So yeah, it's better than that. Carolina said, I'll never sleep again if that happens. Oh my god, I hope you sleep, my friend. Don't be freaking out at no speech. It's all good. If he brings out the alien, then we can all start worrying and being like, are they going to take out? You know what the first, if they produced an alien, a body, a photo, a video, something, do you know? I guarantee you, I know what the first article would be. Do you want to know what the first article would be after the whole thing about like, hey, this is what he showed us? The first article after that would be, are the aliens here to take our jobs? I guarantee you that would be the first article in like the New York Times or something like that. It'd be like, are they here to steal our jobs? Guarantee it. Sean said, at least these can be verified, not amateur photographs. Yeah, that is true. It's all CGI, maybe. Montana said, release Memorial Day distraction and entertainment. Hey, I remember that. Yeah, it is Memorial Day long weekend. I hope you guys all have a great long weekend on this Memorial Day, and get out into your cities and be a part of maybe some of the events going on. I know there's marches and different things like that. Be a part of it. Remember our military. and pay your respects and, head out there and be a part of your communities. I think that's great. One of the things I often criticize Australia about is that sometimes Australia can be very sort of isolation, especially in the city and the suburbs. It can be very isolating. We don't have it. We do have, and I feel like it's wrong for me not to say that we do have some events, but they're just not like the ones in America where, like, say there's a Memorial Day parade or something in your local town, like, the entire town turns out. Like, everyone goes because that's what you do. But down here, it's sort of not like that. People don't really do that. Some people might go if they're involved with it somehow or if it's a tradition to go, but for the most part, most people won't go. And I feel like sometimes that's what we're missing down here is like more of the community aspect to our living areas. Like we don't have a lot of that interconnectedness in our local community. And I know they're trying, but seems to be a thing that Americans do quite well is be a part of their community, often show up for these type of events and take them very seriously. So I hope you get out there, have a look at it, and enjoy your Memorial Day long weekend. So you know what I love about Memorial Day long weekend? It's always like the start of the blockbuster summer movies. So Memorial Day is always like the first weekend where they start bringing out all the big movies. And I know what everyone's waiting for. It is still about a month or so away, but I know everyone's waiting for Spider-Man coming out later this year. Sean said there is a channel with experienced VFX guys that debunk UFO videos. Do they only do public ones or do they do military too? That would be interesting if they did military. I'd be more interested in that rather than, ones from the internet. Let's see. Any more that we didn't do? I mean, probably. We've got so many here. Another weird random orb floating through the sky. Oh, yes. I missed some people yesterday. I want to say thank you to them. I miss my friend Penguin. Penguin, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's really kind of you. I'm sorry I missed you yesterday. And my friend Robert. Robert, thank you. I appreciate your support. I'm sorry I missed it before we ended the show yesterday. Why that happened, I don't know. Ping just didn't see it before we got off the air, I think. And I'm sorry about that. Who else did we have? My friend Penguin. I think I thanked everyone else. Sean. Yeah, I think so. And my friend Carla, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I just saw it come through. And Marlene says, we are looking at rain for the next 5 days. No, really? For your long weekend? That sucks. I'm sorry if you're not going to have a nice summery weekend. Thank you, my friend. Don't donate then. Just keep the money. It's fine. Just you can have it. It's all good. I don't want you to be giving to me if you don't have it. What do you? I don't know. If you want it back, let me know. Happy to give it to you. Inner Psychic said it was a public holiday for where I live on Friday. It was show day. Show day. You guys do that? Show day. Show day. Public holiday. Memorial Day. What the hell is... Who has their show day in May? So, I don't know. What? You're gonna have to tell me where that is. Like, we have show day down here. We have show day in Queensland. I thought Queensland's was later in the year. Like in August or something. Don't you have the Eka? The Ecker's on in August, right? Oh, it must be a regional one, like a regional show, not like the Queensland show. Because I know the Ekka is on later in the year. It's the one before our one in Victoria. So the Victoria one happens in September, and you guys are the one before us in Harvey Bay. And so it was like a regional one. Oh, like the Warhope show. So they do the Warhope show as well. That's on the New South Wales North Coast. Ah, okay, so it's like a regional one. Cool. I hope you had fun. I hope you had fun. Harvey Bay. Oh, you get to see all the whales. You get to see all the whales when they come through. That's cool. I didn't know they did one in Harvey Bay. Harvey Bay. Show day. Let me have a look. Harvey Bay Show Day is officially celebrated as the Fraser Coast Show public holiday. Is held on the Friday of the show weekend. The event takes place at the Maryborough Showgrounds and the Equestrian Park on the Bruce Highway. Cool. I did not even know they did that. That's awesome. Is it big? Is it like a large event? Didn't even know I did not even know they still did regional shows like they do in the city. Ah, cool. I'm glad that that's still a thing. I'm glad they don't restrict that to only being for the main capitals and the cities, because regional places are important and they should have these type of things for everyone. So I'm glad that's true. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. Ah, cool. I had no idea they still did it. So like when I was a kid, my granddad used to take me to the Warhope show on the New South Wales North Coast, and he used to take us out there. And I can tell you, I remember because we used to go to the Easter show when I was young in Sydney, and I remember going to the one in the country, what we call the country, and it was very different. Like it's completely different. It's a lot more countrified. It's got a lot more like rural type stuff, farm machinery and, stuff like that. Very different, very different. But yeah, it's cool. I hope you go other years when you're not visiting your children. What is show day? So show day is like so in America you guys would have your state fair, right? So you guys have your state fairs that happen. Oh, we didn't put up another video while we're talking. Sorry. Let me grab another one and then I'll continue. Let me find one that we haven't watched yet. The state fair is like, yeah, your state fairs in America where you go there and go on all the circus rides and they've got show bags and they've got all different food and events. And so we do the same thing, but it's called show day. And show day is often a public holiday depending where you're from. And so we often get the day off. Mostly it's just a bit of a fun public holiday, but a lot of people use it to go to the state fair, or you guys call it a state fair, but that's not what we call it, the Melbourne show, the Sydney show. So it's a state fair type thing. That's the difference. So yeah, you guys have them in America too. You guys are very famous for your country fairs or your state fair, that type of thing. So same thing, we just call it a show. So, I will. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you guys. How are you? You guys are very kind. Kathy, you are incredibly generous, and I appreciate it, my friend. How have you been? Is your is your um is your like seasonal stuff getting better? I hope it is. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having fun. Hope Tennessee is doing good. Hope you're doing well out there. Okay. Let's talk about some true crime since we're going to do it. I wanted to talk to you about a story that happened across 2 different countries because we have done some gangland things before, and there's something brewing in Sydney, but also in other parts of the world, and something happened the other day, and it's very serious. Alright. There was a guy, and I wonder if I can play this video for you. He was out the front of this, shop, and he was shot and killed. There we go. He was shot and killed. Gunman came along, killed him. This is from the Daily Telegraph, if you haven't guessed. And, he was assassinated and killed, basically. There's his buddy trying to help him. He's been shot. He is very slowly dying right now. He can't even walk. They get him to the back and, well, you guys know what happened. I'm gonna stop it there, otherwise we're gonna get in trouble. Uh, he was shot and killed in Vietnam. And why is this important, Ping? These guys are gangsters from Australia, from Sydney. And to have an Australian gangster who is in Vietnam assassinated is not unheard of, but it's not a thing that happens really at all. And there's a story behind it. It's very well known that when gangsters in Australia get into trouble, they either screw over the wrong people, or the cops want them, or they commit a murder, or they're tied to a drugs or another murder, something like that. They often run and hide overseas where they think, one, their enemies can't get them, but two, that the cops can't get them when they're hiding overseas. Why this is important is because this goes to tell all these people who have now run from mostly Sydney, but also Melbourne, and they've gone to run in countries often across Asia, that you are reachable, that they can get to you, and that they can still find revenge. And to have this all play out in Vietnam is highly unusual. Really, really unusual. The fact that this underworld figure would be snuffed out in a foreign country. It's very interesting. So they're saying now that there's 2 people they are wanting for questioning over the assassination. And these are the 2 men. Do they give a name that's in English? So they're saying here that they have named the men as Lang Kenny Trong Min Du, 36, as one of the men, and the other man is called Justin John White. However, it's unclear if that's his real name or an assumed name. And this is coming from the police in Ho Chi Minh City, and they are looking for these 2 in association with that assassination. His name is Lorenzo Lamallo, and he was a fairly well-known gangster. Basically, he was a guy that worked with some of the biggest sort of underworld people in Sydney, Alameddine clan, and some other people. He eventually defected away from the Alameddines, and there's some of the rumors going around is that this guy did something to them, and the Alameddines finally reached him in Vietnam and got to him, but we'll see if that's actually true or not. Where on his body was he shot? I think he was shot in the torso, and he slowly passed away. I'll double check. I think that's what it was anyway. So yeah, this happened over the last 24 hours, and yeah, just not something that really happens all that often. And the Sydney Underworld War is still boiling and still going on. One of the things that was going around the paper today was that authorities and other players in the underworld in Sydney were saying that everything had been really quiet for a number of weeks. And if you know anything about the Sydney underworld, last year leading into 2026, it was like every week there was like an assassination, someone was shot, someone's car was set on fire, someone's house was targeted. There was stuff happening like weekly. And the fact that it all sort of died down for a couple of months, they're saying maybe this was why, because they were planning this hit overseas. Now, whether these two guys are related, I don't know. I'm not sure. But they want to speak to these two men over the death of Lorenzo. And we'll see. But apparently they reckon these two have already left Ho Chi Minh City already. And these guys are not even in the local area. So they're saying here that the incident that you saw on that video was captured in dramatic CCTV footage. The vision shows the gunman with his hands in his pockets attempting to look nondescript as he walks up towards a group with Lamalu on the street in Ho Chi Minh City on Thursday night. As he approaches, he appears to take a sideways glance to ensure he has the right target before walking a few steps past a group of about 5 men and a few women. Then suddenly he turns and opens fire in an attack position, with Lamalu and another man shot multiple times before the gunman then follows his intended target into the restaurant, where he presumably fires more bullets. Brutal. They say here, as his other victim crawls along the footpath towards a mate, the gunman emerges from the restaurant and flees on foot across the street. Okay, so the video that we saw is like two separate events. Okay, that gives us some description about what happened. The guy outside that was hugging his mate was a different guy that was shot. The guy that's inside the restaurant that you saw right at the end of the video getting CPR, that's the main target. That's a different dude, and he was shot inside the restaurant. So there was multiple points to this whole thing. So that's what happened. Yeah. So even overseas, you are not protected. Apparently, you cannot run and hide to Vietnam. So yeah, Gail said they need firearms training if they missed at first. Well, he got one of them. Gail said, I'm sure one of our gang-led dudes was just killed overseas from the UK as well. I mean, there was a couple of Scottish people that are involved with the Lions clan. They were killed overseas, but that was a year ago. That was in Spain. I know that there's another crime group in, I think it's Ireland. There's another crime group and one of their guys was killed as well. So yeah, there you go. Can't run and hide, guys. More rain, less pollen. I hope you get less pollen, my friend. I don't want you to have any more pollen. I know what it's like. I get some seasonal, like, hay fever and that. Let's have a look. So apparently the guy that was killed took a photo just the other night in front of a restaurant with a golden hamburger or a golden steak or whatever that is, and a bunch of sushi and fries. Well, they definitely have a choice of food. I don't know if that's a burger or a steak, a gold covered burger, or it's some sort of giant steak with gold leaf on it, and then a bunch of sushis and a bunch of fries. And so apparently he was living the high life just a week ago, just a few days ago. He was feasting on all this nice food, and then Yeah, I feel like Gayla says don't advertise where you're at. I feel like if you're going to go on the run overseas, why would you be posting? But I feel like that's part of the bravado too. I feel like these guys are often like, you can't get me. I'm overseas. Ha ha ha. Look what I'm doing. You guys will never get me over here in a foreign country. And now they know that you can get over there. But I think that's sort of part of the sending the message to their enemies, but also the cops. Hey, I'm free. Look at all the food I'm eating. I'm doing well. I think that's part of it. I would think so. All right, let's have a look. Just want to close some links down. So yeah, vanity got him. Sounds like it, right? Sounds like it. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to you because it doesn't happen very often, and the only other ones I know of is in 2015, a guy called Wayne Schneider was killed in Thailand, but I believe that was a different situation as described in the Daily Telegraph article. And then there was a guy killed in Greece called John Macros. He was killed in Greece by gangsters in Greece because apparently he had pissed off the mafia, the local mafia, and they shot and killed him outside of his home over there because I don't know what he did, but he did something that they were not very happy with. So there you go. There you go. All right. What else? Did I have one more? Uh, actually, so I know a lot of people have been messaging me about what's going on in Portugal, and we don't do a ton of stories out of Portugal, but I know that a lot of people have been sort of wanting information about I think it's happened in Portugal. Hold on, am I going mental? Yeah, Portuguese. So it happened over there, but the people are French, and they dumped their children, age 4 and 5, 100 miles away from their home, and basically went on holidays, went to hang out, and yeah, they just left their children there while they went on to hang out and go on holidays, and they abandoned their children in the woods. I don't know if you guys heard this story from overseas. Yeah, I'm gonna try and bring it up. I just want to bring you an actual thing about it. I had a couple people message me saying, "Ping, you need to look at that," because yeah, I guess we don't often hear of parents driving their kids to the woods, um, and dumping their kids. It's bizarre, like leaving them as if they're in some sort of, you know, Disney movie, and being like, "Hey, the local friendly bear will take care of them." So yeah, if I can get to Euro News, I will show you. Yeah, Portugal and France in shock. What we know about the case of the abandoned children. They say the children were found in good health and have been discharged from hospital now. The Portugal National Republican Guard arrested 41-year-old French National Marine, Marine Rousseau, alongside a 55-year-old.
Two young French boys aged 4 and 5 were
George.
rescued in
Shut up. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong. I think it's Marin. And they're saying here the two young boys were found abandoned by the side of a main road. According to the police force, the pair are suspected of committing the crimes of DV and exposure and abandonment related to the occurrence involving two minor children found along next to the public road. And they're saying here that they were arrested around 170 kilometers from where the children were found. On social media, the mum presented herself as a sexologist who she says can help all people who have suffered trauma to regain serenity and sexual satisfaction. Okay. On professional networks like LinkedIn, she says she specializes in body practices, developmental dynamics, and specific care for trauma. Sure. She said she has studied psychomotricity at the university. Okay, I'm sure she has. And they're saying here, these poor, like, this is them at a petrol station, ready to go drive 170 kilometers, dump these children, and take off again. What kind of parents drive all that way to go and dump their kids in the woods? Why? I mean, there has to be better options than that. And then they basically went and had a great old time together. Look at this, the poor little boys. Oh my god, it's so sad. Why they wouldn't know what they did. They didn't do anything wrong. But to do that to them, dump them in a wooded area in Portugal, so far away from where they grew up, people that speak possibly a different language too. They're saying here it comes after CCTV footage emerged showing the couple on their way to abandon their young children. New footage obtained by the local media showed the boys innocently playing in their parents' car at a petrol station near the border with Spain after they arrived in Portugal. And they're saying here it appears the car pulled into the petrol station and got petrol. And they're saying in the back of the car you can see both of the boys in the back seat of the car. So they drove from France to Spain basically and dumped their kids. No wonder the media is furious. I kind of don't know what drives someone, especially a sexologist. You know, they are the most, they are the people we put on a pedestal in our society. They're saying they crossed the border after the French woman disappeared with the two children around what? A Portuguese broadcaster reported that the footage was taken at 6:16 p.m. on May 11th, the same day the family arrived in Portugal from the Spanish border. They crossed the border after the French woman disappeared with two children around 2 weeks ago before setting off on the road trip to Portugal. Earlier reporting indicated the young child was 3, not 4. He's actually 4. They're saying that the mum was born in 1984 and that she graduated with psychomotor therapy from a university in Paris and that she worked in Paris for 10 years. And yeah. So why did she dump the kids? Interesting. On her Facebook, she does not have any images or videos of her children, but promotes her business heavily. Could this be the case where, you know how sometimes where, say a woman has been victimized by someone and they have children out of that relationship, like a DV type relationship? Is it possible that she is having like redirected anger at the children for what her previous partner did to her? I wonder, because it's strange that a mum would have no photos on her social media, you know, bragging about her children or what they're up to or how much they've grown or what they're wearing or what they're eating or what they're doing at school. It is very odd. And the fact then she would go and dump them. And then she talks a lot about in her business about trauma, about DV, about taking care of that type of thing. So just an observation from reading about it. So apparently she has now been taken to a police station. She is now in handcuffs. They found her not free anymore. She is now in custody. What are they? I'll find out what they're going to charge her with. It has to be child abandonment. You would think so. That's it. They're lucky those kids didn't die, like, being hit by a truck or something, like, with the road, with the highway. It's very lucky. Apparently, a local couple found the children and took them to their home and called police. Oh my god, what a nice couple. If dumping your kids like that, there are some really sick people around. If they had seen two young children on the side of the road, any sort of things could happen to those poor boys. They could have been ended up in all sorts of nasty situations that we all can think, we know about in true crime. That could have been way worse. Very kind to those people to take them in. The boys told authority that their parents told them they were going to play a game to drive away the evil or drive away the devil. The couple had blindfolded them and took them to a wooded area before telling them they could only remove their eye covers once they had found a knife the couple had buried in the ground and used to cut them off. The boys were digging around in the dirt for several minutes before the older boy took their blindfolds off. To their shock, the boys realized they were all alone, still believed they were playing part of a game. The boys wandered the area for several hours through part of Portugal, and they're saying that during the daytime, it reaches over 30 degrees Celsius, very hot, like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They're saying here the oldest one told the people who rescued them that he and his brother had gotten lost in the forest and that their father and mother had left without taking them. My God. Apparently, the mum and father only gave them this. This is all that they gave them to survive the forest in Portugal. I mean, horrific. Why? Look at that. It gave them a jacket, a water bottle. At least she gave him some water and some fruit, and looks like underwear for a little kid, and some socks and some pants and a shirt and a backpack. Brutal. Yeah, I think that is that a water bottle? The middle thing, the orange thing, I think that might be a water bottle. So this woman and the guy, why would you do that to your children? Some people are very sick. Here, this is where they left them. So they walked into this bushland here, told them about that game. They snuck out, got into the car and drove away and left their kids in this forest here for them to figure out that their parents had left them there. That's so damaging for those two boys. They're never going to trust anyone again. So what are they going to charge the mum with? It doesn't say. On Thursday, Portuguese police announced that they arrested a 55-year-old man and a 41-year-old woman linked to the incident involving two minor children found alone near a public road. They were arrested at a cafe terrace in Fatima on suspicion of abuse, endangering others, and abandonment. So they have been taken into custody, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. I hope she never gets her children back, ever. That is just horrific. Horrific that they would do that to the two little boys. Here's the two little boys speaking to a policeman, trying to tell them a story about what happened to them in that forest. I hope they go into care. I really do. I hope they get some better people that can look after them. Sean said, my Scottish 5th grade teacher would say it's a character building exercise. Character building or soul destroying. Could be that too. I mean, these kids could have abandonment issues for the rest of their life. And that's something like it's very hard to deal with and get over. Man, what an evil woman. What an evil woman, this French sexologist woman. There's her. Apparently, that's her being arrested and taken into custody. So, the description of when they found them was they were having a grand old time at the cafe terrace, and they were hanging out in the sun, enjoying their new life as single people with no children. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So they won't give a last name. The man who was arrested called Mark, he is not the boy's biological father. He is the stepfather. The boy's biological father he is in their lives, but he only has limited visitation with the boys. He is not a guardian or someone who's able to have them full time, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know if you heard about this story, but it was all over European media over the last couple of days. Let me try and find. Yeah, we've got a video. Let's have a look. CCTV. There's the God. They always give you such a shitty little video. But there's the parents in the background, and you can see the boys playing on the back seat. Wait, can we open this? Yeah. I'm gonna think of a better version of this. Now let me pause this. Won't let me zoom it for you. That's annoying. But yeah, that's them up the top. And you can see the boys playing in the back seat before they go to the forest and they were dumped. It's terrible. Sweetmo said, haven't heard about it where I am in the upper Midwest. It's amazing how sometimes like these stories don't like get to America, or sometimes American stories don't make it to Europe, or they don't make it to Australia. But yeah, this one's been all over the news. I can't believe she would do that and only leave them. Like this mom, and she is a mom, she is their mom, thought that this was enough to keep them safe in the forest in Portugal. A jacket, a jumper, or a sweater, a backpack, a couple of pieces of fruit, a bottle of water, and a change of underwear. What's wrong with her? What's wrong with people? Kathy said some people weren't meant to be parents. I have a funny feeling this is some sort of like redirected aggression towards the actual boy's father, and that she regretted having the children, and instead of doing the proper thing, putting them up for adoption, looking for other options or something like that, she decided to dump them because she hates them so much. Not because she hates them in particular, but because they remind her of the boy's father. And I bet you that's exactly what it is. I will find out that she never wanted to have children. She got pregnant, ended up having 2 babies to her previous partner, and then she hates them. Or the new guy doesn't want kids. Could be both. Could be both things. Could be both. Yeah, so keep an eye out for this story. Her name is Marin, and she is from France. The fact that she was able to drive from France to Portugal, it's a long drive. It's not as close as you think it is, and it's a bit of a drive. What they say, 170 kilometers, kilometers or miles? Hold on. I think it's kilometers. So pretty far away. Oh no, miles. Sorry. So where was it? Catador. How long is that? How long is the trip? France to. Okay. All right. Oh my god, it's ages away. I was just looking like how long would it take to drive from there? It's ages, guys. 1,250 kilometers. It takes between 12 and 14 hours of continuous driving, depending on your exact route. So you're talking like 15 hours of driving. 15 to dump your children. And that's only half of the journey. That's only to the French border. I don't know how far into France they live, but yeah. Amy said, what was her goal? One apple and an orange won't last. It could have died if they weren't discovered in a few hours. She obviously didn't care, so why make like a 1% effort? I don't know. In miles, 1,250 kilometers equal. Let's have a look. It's about 800 miles. So it's about an 800-mile trip. So it's a hell of a trip. 800 miles to just dump your children in a foreign country. It's just brutal. I've never heard of something like this where someone's driven that kind of length to try and get rid of their children. Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, hold on, guys. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I was losing my voice a little bit. There we go. So let's have a look. I just wanted to see if do they have any CCTV? The boys are very lucky that the family found them and took them in. If they didn't find such a nice family, they probably would have been found. Like if you look at that road where they were found, and I'll show you the photo again. They're just little boys, right? If they had stepped onto the road thinking, you know what we're going to do? We're going to flag down a passing car. So the little boys step out onto the road and they try and wave down a car, but the car doesn't see them. They could have been hit and killed very easily by a speeding motorist. And then you would have just found two dead boys on the side of the road. So the fact that this family found them, it's very kind of them. Kelly said, kind of reminds me of the Melody Buzzard case, but she did the drive. Yeah, she did the drive to basically kill her. Gayla said maybe they were on their way to the holiday and the kids were annoying them, so they dumped them. Maybe. I don't understand or have a reason for why you would do that. I mean, to dump your children in a forest, it sounds planned and premeditated. The fact that they said that the woman had disappeared with the children 2 weeks ago sounds like there's been a premeditation to all of this. Like, why would she have gone missing with the children a fortnight ago? No, it sounds like this was not like a spur of the moment. It sounds like she's been planning it for a while. I wish I just had more information. Something to show you from like Sky News or something like that. I'm surprised Sky News didn't cover it. Or BBC or something like that. Yeah, I don't see anything. Just from Euronews. That's the only one I see.
2 young French boys aged 4 and 5 were rescued in Portugal this week after they had been abandoned on the side of the road by their mother with nothing but backpacks containing some food and water. They were found by a local passerby who took them to a bakery run by his family.
Meu filho é que os encontrou lá à estrada. Estavam sentados e quando viram o carro, que até é este, por acaso até está hoje na que quis trabalhar, os miúdos viram o carro e dirigiram-se ao carro a chorar.
The family took the children in, providing shelter, food, and toys for them to play with. They had reportedly explained how their mother had left them in a wooded area.
Puseram-me na floresta, taparam os olhos e mandaram-me ir à procura de um brinquedo. Quando eu vi, já não estava o carro da mamã, já tinha abalado.
What a nice family and business to take them in and like wait for the cops to come, give them some food, give them some shelter, and it's lucky they could communicate. It's lucky that the lady understood. Like, you know, living in Spain, she may not speak French, and there's lucky that yeah they were able to somehow. Maybe she knows a little bit of French. She may be speaking French for all I know. Kathy said, I don't remember. Oh, okay, that's something else. But yeah, nice family, owns the local bakery, took him in and made sure that the authorities were called. Why they won't give us Marine's first full name? They'll give us her first name, but not her last name. They call her Marine R, so they won't give us. I mean, I guess the European laws are very strict. Oh, I have her name. French national Marine Rousseau. Rousseau, yeah. So that's her name. Why that article's not naming her, I don't know. I think we read it last time before. Why did one publication refuse to name her and the other one named her full name? Bizarre. Ah, this is her? Ah, we have a photo of her. There's the mom. I'm just trying to see if we can find anything else about her. All right. All right, let's have a look. Who is the woman suspected of banning her children? She's a 41-year-old, presented herself on social media as a sexologist and trainer, has no known criminal record. Marin Rousseau is the woman suspected of abandoning her 2 children in a wooded area. The case is now being investigated by Portuguese and French authorities. There's her photo of her.
Bonjour à chacune et à chacun. Alors, je fais une petite vidéo pour préciser à qui s'adresse ma masterclass. Donc, c'est une masterclass qui est destinée aux parents, grands-parents et à chaque membre dans les familles, tantes, oncles, voilà, ou toute personne qui aurait à cœur de transmettre quelque chose au sujet du sexuel, que ce soit aux enfants, aux adolescents ou aux jeunes, tout en respectant leur sensibilité et leur niveau de développement. Voilà, donc c'est très ouvert. Pour l'instant, la formation est encore dans phase de co-construction. Voilà, moi j'ai déjà pas mal écrit et proposé de contenu. Et je suis en train d'affiner vraiment avec vos retours de terrain et c'est pour ça que je souhaite vraiment m'adresser à de nombreux parents pour avoir des retours et affiner. Voilà.
You heard what she said. I mean, you heard it. Came straight from her. I mean, we all understood it. We all got what she was saying. Actually, I have no idea what she was saying. I know some of the words that she was talking about. I speak a tiny bit of it, not much. I could tell that she was trying to promote a business, something about her. I think she was talking about how like she can, yeah, basically what they told us before, that she deals in sexology. Basically, she can transform females back to some spiritual goddess type thing where, you know, pick a word, ladies. Most of the people who watch this channel are female, so pick words that you know about. Sex therapist, okay, but sexologist. I think a sexologist is a way of saying that you have no formal training. No, but she does, right? No, actually, she does. They say that she went to university and that she studied something to do with the body. Not exactly sexual, but she studied like stuff to do with the human body. Maybe there's a, what's the difference? Let's look it up. What's the difference between I wonder if one is physical and one is mental. Like a sexologist might be physical and a sex therapist is mental. Maybe? Let's see. Ah. A sex therapist is a licensed mental health professional trained to treat psychological and emotional issues impacting sexual health. A sexologist is an expert in broader scientific study of human sexuality, focusing on education, research, or coaching. There you go. Whatever whatever those differences are. Gayla said, no, I've seen some of the things a sex therapist does. Yeah, so that's what it's telling me, that that's the difference between the two of them. I'll put it up on the thing so people can read it. That's the that is the difference between it. Gayla says she needs some therapy herself. I mean, you dump your children in a Portuguese wooded area and you need more than therapy. You need something. Jail time, a smack upside the head, something. You need something. And none of the options are good. None of the options are good. So Swimo said, so her first tip is to get rid of any pesky kids hanging around. Yeah, number one tip to improve your sex life, get rid of the children in a forest in Portugal, apparently. That is her number one advice to all clients. You know what she was doing? Guys, I think we've been too hard on her. I think she was probably just filming content. That's it. She was filming content for her business and she was giving a physical demonstration of the things that she tells her clients to do. So she's like, I can't be about it if I'm not about it. So she, went and did it to show her clients, like, this is how you do it. Sean said, does she have a website? I'm not sure if she does. Let's have a look. I think I had more fun talking about the UFOs. Let's have a look. I don't see a website. Maybe. Okay. She does not have a website, unfortunately. Sorry, Sean. But here's her photo, a different photo of her that we haven't seen before. This is one that she keeps on her LinkedIn for her business or whatever. That's her photo. So Sweet Universe said, if it hadn't been for those kids, yeah. Check the LinkedIn. There's no website though. I already looked it up. But yeah. Yeah, if it hadn't been for those mentally kids, that's right. Kathy said, which one is harder to believe in, UFOs or this woman? This woman. This woman. This woman. Sweetinvest said she is not attractive. Don't be saying that about our French friends. They'll come and start a war that they'll end up losing for the 4th time. Don't be saying that. Yeah, I think I actually believe more in the UFOs and the drones than I do her story of dumping her children in the forest or whatever. I believe that. Why was my microphone so high before? I thought I readjusted it and I must not have. That's okay. All right. What? No, different story. Different story popped up and I was like, what is that? Oh, let's go to California. What the hell is going on in California? Oh, there's a massive chemical tank in Southern California that might explode. Well, that's always fun. Who doesn't want a chemical tank that's going to blow up and kill everyone?
As you can see as well, our Darsha Phillips is live on scene with more. Darsha, what do you know about the evacuation there?
Yeah, Colleen, what we know is that Hazmat is here on scene and they have evacuated buildings and neighborhoods within a half-mile of every direction of this chemical release. And that's why we're being held so far back. I'm going to show you what we are seeing over our shoulder here. We are outside of the evacuation zone, but you can see what appears to be water being poured on the vat, that storage vat that released the chemical. Again, this did happen at a business on the 12,000 block of Western. That business manufactures acrylic plastics for the aerospace industry, and around 34,000 gallons of a chemical called methyl methacrylic was released. It is a highly flammable and reactive chemical, and it can be explosive if exposed to heat, light, or air. That is why there is such a large evacuation zone. And
I like how she just told us, like, oh, it sometimes can be explosive, but only if it touches heat, light, or air. You know, it's only those 3 things, nothing else. You know, as long as it doesn't get near, like, oh, out in the open where we have heat, light, and air. Why why not just say it's explosive then? What do you think it's doing by leaving the tank? No, it has to go near the heat, the light, and the air. What is wrong with some people and their thinking? That's so funny. It's only explosive under those circumstances. You know, they're very rare.
officials are doing everything they can to keep the chemical cool.
The problem with this chemical is it is a possible flammable liquid, and it does have exothermic properties. Right now, the sprinklers that are a safety feature of the business are actually cooling down the chemical. We may be adding in additional water streams to continue cooling down the material.
Now, according to OCFA, the temperature of the chemical is not rising right now, and they're going to keep checking the temperature to make sure it stays that way. And evacuations are from Garden Grove to Orangewood to Western, again, a half mile in each direction of where this chemical was released. They are taking this very seriously. OCFA says that they have
A half-mile evac order. Holy moly. That is a ton of area to get. Here's what it looked like when it was really going off earlier. You know, I'll pause it. But here's like a ton of that, like steam and water, and some of the chemical piling off those tanks. Like the mysterious fog. It's just going everywhere. So they're saying that, yeah, there's the giant tank that they're trying to call. So this is what they're working on. I hope everyone in SoCal is okay. Garden Grove. That luckily it looks like mostly an industrial area. There isn't a ton of residential, thank God. And oh, there is a neighborhood close by, but it's I think it's been evacuated. All right, what are they saying here? I love how they're like, let's produce a video, but no one can hear it. Bro, buy a microphone. We'll pay for it. No, we can't listen to your update because no one can effing hear you. It's the quietest video ever. Bro, next time bring the microphone close to your face. You can't have it halfway across the friggin', near the camera. No one can hear you. So we can't hear your update, sorry. What are they saying? They're basically that they're offering they're basically maintaining it right now. Jeez. They're saying here about 15% of residents inside the evacuation zone were still refusing to leave Friday afternoon despite repeated warnings. So apparently, like, some people were just refusing to leave their homes, for the evacuation order. I mean, I guess you can't make people go. So let's see what else we have on this. Was there an update in the last hour for people in California? 5 hours ago from our friends at ABC7.
People evacuated from a wide area near an aerospace facility in Garden Grove with a 34,000-gallon chemical tank that will either spill thousands of gallons of toxic material or explode.
If you've ever seen videos of tank cars on a railroad track blowing up and that fireball it puts out and it blows half the tank car a half a mile down the train track, that's the incident potential we are dealing with.
They're not mincing words. This is an extremely dangerous situation that has only gotten more serious since we first started covering this on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock yesterday. Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
I'm Michelle Fisher. Fire crews say the compromised tank is now in crisis. There's no way to neutralize the overheated toxic chemical that's inside. Authorities saying that tank will indeed fail, but they don't know whether it will spill or explode.
The evacuation zone now spans several blocks on the west side of Garden Grove. Authorities urging some 40,000 people inside that zone to leave immediately for their safety.
And we do have team coverage. New this hour, we look at the potential health concerns for people who live in that area. Nika Kazori live at the evacuation center speaking with people who have been forced to leave their homes. Bianca Bono also at the fire authority with more on that now and what they're doing. Bianca?
Yeah, Mark and Michelle, we just got an update from OCFA, and they say the positive news this afternoon is they've been able to maintain the temperature of that tank. They say that is actually buying them time to come up with some sort of creative solution that is better than those two bad options on the table. They say this event is extremely significant and unprecedented. A tank in crisis containing 7,000 gallons of a toxic chemical continues to disintegrate as the Orange County Fire.
So what options would they have if the options are let it fail and possibly blow up or leak? What could they do? You could freeze it, Gayla? You'd need a lot of like fire extinguisher or something like that to cool it. I think they're saying that it's basically on thermal runaway now. It's like it's basically not gonna, and they can't fix the tank. Like the tank will fail, even though they're sort of keeping the temperature steady. It sounds like they can't actually solve the issue. There's no way of solving it. It's just gonna fail. I think that's probably the problem though, Gayla, is that if they touch it, if you create a spark or if you accidentally make the fail happen, it could just go kaboom and then take out like the people that are working on it, everyone else, everyone surrounding it. I wonder what you could do. I wonder if you could cover it in another box, like something else that you could cover it with and fill it with water to dampen the explosion if it does fail. I wonder if there's a way of doing that where you could put some sort of large container over it, like a silo or like a large water tank. and maybe you could like fill it with water to dampen that explosion should, and if it fails, it just fails into the tank. That way it's not going to spill everywhere. But if it explodes, and it'll keep that shock wave, the water absorbs a lot of it rather than having it out in the open air. I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but that's where my mind goes. I mean, you could use a chemical solution maybe to freeze it, like Gayla's talking about, but Marlene said, I'm sure the tank is not in the wealthy part of town. Probably not. It's probably, well, I don't know. It's California. Most of the places cost a lot of money, so wealthy is a funny word to use in California. Sweet Eva said, doesn't anyone ever do any maintenance on these things? Apparently not. They're just like, hey, we'll wait till there's a problem and then we'll deal with it.
Authority warns of two dire options.
That was what we were handed. A leaking tank or a tank that blows up.
The incident at GKN Aerospace started at 3 p.m. yesterday when one of the three tanks began releasing vapor. OCFA helped cool it down and evacuation orders were lifted. But this morning, an alarming update. A different tank was in crisis, and there was nothing that could be done to stop it. Either the tank will spill out or explode. Experts are hoping for the former.
Once it comes out, it is no longer an explosive hazard, and our hazmat teams in their chemical protective suits can go in, neutralize, and mitigate the vapors that will be coming off of that.
In the meantime, police have been working to evacuate 40,000 people in the evacuation zone.
From a law enforcement and fire perspective, our highest priority is your safety and security. So please listen to what we're telling you. We are experiencing about a 15% refusal rate.
The chemical in question is highly toxic and highly flammable, and the short and long-term health risks are serious.
It can impact respiratory system, cause skin irritation and eye irritation. The other concern we have is it's extremely flammable, and in its current state, very reactive and can cause that explosion.
So again, OCFA continues to make calls to experts all over the country to try to come up with a better solution here. There are also a number of specialists from Orange County Health, the EPA, trying to make sure that the established evacuation zone would account for a possible plume. Reporting live in Cyprus, Bianca Bono, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
A tense situation there, Bianca Bono. Thank you so much for those details. We want to get you to a live picture now from Air 7 over that chemical tank. Crews have been streaming water on that tank for more than 24 hours now to try to cool it. It's the smaller of the three that you see there in your right-hand corner. And
So that's pretty brutal. They solved the problem yesterday of the first tank. Then they were like, we're done. And they went home. And then in the morning, the company called again and went, sorry to make you come back out here, but it happened again. And they went back out, and this time it was a different tank that had a problem. This particular tank they can't fix. So the first one, they actually did get the temperature down and it stopped gassing everywhere. The second one, they cannot do anything about it. It's basically going to fail. Reminds me of the movie The China Syndrome. A little bit, it does, right? Kathy said not everyone has somewhere else to go. That is true. That is true. Gayla said, sounds more like sabotage. It's a little weird that they had two tanks die right next to each other at the same time. Maybe someone tried to do something. Maybe that's what they'll look at their investigation after.
despite the risks to the nearby community, 15% of people are refusing to leave the evacuation zone. There are 40,000 people under an evacuation order right now.
Eyewitness News reporter Niku Kazori is live at one of the evacuation centers, speaking to people who've had to leave their homes. Niku.
Yeah, Mark and Michelle, it feels like a ghost town as you're driving through neighborhoods that are in the evacuation zone. We're at one of the evacuation centers right now in Cyprus, and you can see behind me, law enforcement is still here. People have been here since, or I'd say around 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning. The parking lot still very packed, and we are continuing to see more cars driving into the parking lot. Now, take a look at this map. It's a very large map showing the evacuation zone, and you can see the areas affected are from Ball Road to the north, north, Dale Street to the east, Trask Avenue to the south, and Valley View Street to the west. The 22 freeway is still open as of right now, but again, a very large area. 40,000 people are in that evacuation area. And according to officials, we just heard there is a 15% refusal rate. We caught up with some people who evacuated to the center in Cypress and how the community here is coming together.
It's terrifying. It's horrifying. You have no idea what's scary. It's very, very frightening.
Yeah.
No idea what's going to happen, how it will affect. I feel really, really bad for the people who live right next to it.
For others that look out for them, that the city of Cypress, the city of Garden Grove, the city of Stanton, the mobilization was immediate and aggressive. And I think we'll be getting them back into their homes as soon as possible.
So it looks like after this happened during the day today, they actually put out a second update just under an hour ago. Sounds like they are still monitoring it out of Garden. So let's have a
A
look.
team of reporters in Garden Grove tonight and the surrounding area. Let's get started with Hetty Chang. And Hetty, when we talked to the chief now less than an hour ago, he talked about how the cool weather tonight is definitely helping.
Yeah, Colleen, that was a really important question. He says, yes, now that the sun has gone down, that it's certainly going to help. You mentioned this off the top, Colleen, what he was saying about the temperature, but it is worth repeating. He says up until this point through the night and right now, they've been able to maintain that tank temperature at 60 degrees. Normally, he says that tank is kept at 50 degrees. So that is certainly good news. He says, again, the weather is going to help as well. The big question we had for him, at what temperature are things going to get potentially dangerous, potentially catastrophic? He says around 100 degrees is when things are going to change. That temperature is when things can get potentially catastrophic. He says when OCFA first responded to this hazmat situation yesterday afternoon at GKN Aerospace on Western Avenue, that the temperature of the tank had reached at least 95 degrees. Again, we're talking about 7,000 gallons of this chemical, methacrylate, a highly flammable, highly toxic, and potentially explosive chemical, as you said, Colleen, used in plastics and manufacturing. The issue right now, the biggest challenge, is that faulty valve. It's causing the challenge, which is nothing can go in and nothing can come out. So again, the two options that we have heard all day long, neither are good. Either the tank is going to crack. All of that liquid, the gallons, are going to go into a parking lot, but at least at that point, it's contained that way. Hazmat crews can go in and they can neutralize that chemical, or the tank is going to explode. The direct quote that we heard from the incident commander, this thing is going to fail. Experts from all across the state, all across the country, they are calling in right now, offering solutions. Among the new possibilities that we did hear tonight, potentially being explored, could they cool that tank enough for the chemical to solidify? Again, emergency crews are discussing all options at this point. Right now, they really want to overstress the sense of urgency here.
So at some point, we don't know when, it's either going to leak or go kaboom. That's basically what's going to happen. Sometime over the weekend, most likely. This is probably going to happen pretty quickly. That is not good. I'm sure this is going to be live streamed. We're probably going to have this over the next, 48 hours, and to have it on Memorial Day. The other thing, apparently in this place, over this weekend, on Memorial Day weekend, there is normally a strawberry festival in the town. And unfortunately, due to the leak of the tank and the risks involved, they have had to cancel the strawberry festival for Memorial Day weekend. So I feel sorry for the people that they want to go to the community event. They're not able to. That's really, really horrible that, one of their yearly community events has had to be canceled because of the tank. That's pretty crap. That's not far from Disney in Anaheim. Yeah, it's not too far. But I feel sorry for the people. No strawberry festival for you, unfortunately. I'm sorry nice people of Garden Grove. Yeah, apparently they had a strawberry festival. I didn't know that. Did you guys know there was a strawberry festival in this town? Apparently there was.
This is affecting about 6 cities, 40,000 people out of their homes. Amber Frias is about 3.5 miles away from the aerospace company. She's at the Strawberry Festival. Amber, how's this affecting what's planned for the weekend there?
Hey, Colleen. Well, the festival is still going on. It's actually happening right now, but they are pulling back on some of the events that they typically host. They're no longer having their parade tomorrow morning or their 5K race. They say this it has something to do indirectly with what's happening, but not directly. They say they decided to cancel those because there are so many emergency crews tied up at the incident. So they decided it probably wasn't the best idea to continue with such large events that would require street closures. But again, we are about 3.5 miles away from the area where the incident is happening. Like you mentioned, and this area is not under evacuation orders. But here is the president of the Strawberry Festival with more.
All right, lucky. Okay, so they canceled some of it, but apparently, like the main bit in the festival where you can go taste all the nice food, that is still going. So if you are near Garden Grove and you want to go to the Strawberry Festival this weekend, apparently you can. That's pretty cool. I did not know there was a Garden Grove Strawberry Festival. And I tried to go to their website to talk to you about it, and it says access denied, website firewall. Well, F you too. What are you talking about? Access from your country was disabled. What have Australians ever done to you? What did we do to you? They're like, oh, they've come here and trashed our festival. Those bloody Australians. What? Apparently, we're not allowed to go to the Strawberry Festival website. Okay, then I won't promote your festival to all my viewers and a lot of them who live in LA. Sure. Marilyn said, wonder what the high is tomorrow in Garden Grove. Tomorrow, Garden Grove, LA. Tomorrow's got a high of 72 and a low of 59. So if you're in Garden Grove, sounds like you're in the low 70s tomorrow, and it's not too bad. It's not crazy hot, which is good for LA. I'm actually pretty surprised considering it's so close to summer. It's only 22 degrees Celsius for people in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, we're looking at a new something to do with that, Robert. We're looking at something to help with this. Sean said, I've been down that track with Ping. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't really run it for the show because the show is so demanding on upload that if we use a VPN and shrink the pipe by connecting to a VPN, it'll screw with the video uploading and stuff. So it's a bit of a problem. We've looked at using a dynamic DNS, but the one company I tried last time was not very good. So I used to use a different company years ago, and I may go back to them because they did not have any problems. So I may go back to my old company and use them. I'm shocked it says 19 degrees here tomorrow. It's not too bad for summer for you guys. Here tomorrow, what is it in Melbourne? It was freezing last night. There was like ice crystals in the air. There was fog everywhere again. It was cold as it was mental last night. It was freezing. Oh, it looks like none of the days coming up are going to be quite as cold as the last few days. So thank the Lord. Actually, the next few days are all like 18 and 11, 18 and 10. So not that cold. I'm actually surprised because next week is like the first week of winter. And other than a few days here and there, it's not been that cold at night. I mean, we've had a few 8 degrees overnight, a few 7 degrees, but no real like 1 degree, 2 degree as of yet. It's 25 degrees in Sydney now. That is gross for almost winter. That is foul. That's why I can't live in Sydney. Can't live in Sydney. No, it's only 17 degrees in Sydney, Sean. It's only 16.9 in Sydney right now. And then tomorrow you got a top of 20 degrees. So no, you're all right. Not 24. Actually, you know, it's funny. Sydney's only like 4 degrees warmer than Melbourne at this time of year, 4 degrees. Yes. Okay. That's a Scottish summer. Kathy said the high today in Garden Grove is 72. That's what I just said. Sean said, I'm in a singlet indoor, 24 degrees. Why is it so hot inside your house? What is going on? You need to open a window, buddy. You need to open a door, a window, a sunroof. Why is it so hot in the West? It's telling me it's only 16 degrees where you live, Sean. Like, I know where Sean lives. I'm not going to say where Sean lives, but I know where Sean lives. And it's telling me it's actually quite cold. What have you got? You got like a heater? What? It's weird. Do you have a meth lab downstairs? Do you have a cooker? Someone's cooking drugs under you, and like so it heats up your house. I'm not sure what's going on. It says it should be about 10 degrees cooler than what's going on internally in your house. Should be about 10 degrees, 8 to 10 degrees cooler. That's concerning, buddy. Yeah, I think maybe your split system is not working right. 24 degrees is not like there's no way you have a 10-degree differential between indoor and outdoor unless you're running like a heater or something like that. Unless you've got someone cooking under your house. He's growing devils. It's all the heat lamps. That's what it is. Too many heat lamps, Sean. How many heat lamps do you have? They'll be there for you soon. You know when they fly the helicopters at night, they have the infrared, and that's what they look for. They look for people with tons of heat lamps, and then if they find them, they go and arrest them. You know the other way they do it in the US and the UK? In the US and the UK, if you grow that thing and it snows, so do you know how they find out which houses do it in the UK and the USA? They look at what houses don't have any snow on their roof. So like if it's been snowing and like everyone else's house has snow all over the top of it and your house looks perfectly clean, or it has a huge gap in the middle of the snow, they know that you've got tons of heat lamps inside of your house because it's too hot and you've melted all the snow. I'm not sure. What do you mean you can't talk? I see you right here. You're driving your son's car. Yeah, having a moment, Lisa. Sean said, I have a pedestal fan in me and the aircon in fan only. I'd still look into something, Sean. That's bizarre that you're so hot. But yeah, maybe it is your thyroid. Maybe it is. Robert said also the pigeons like the warm roof in the winter. Okay, I didn't know that. Maybe it is. Follow the pigeons. Sweet Emma says, or you have a little old lady living at your house. That too. All right. Hey, we should keep an eye on this explosive situation out of LA. If it sort of goes critical, if we sort of get the message, hey, this is going to happen at any time now, and they start live streaming it, I may come back and hang out with you all and we'll watch what happens. We'll see if it spills or it goes kaboom. but I'm guessing they'll have a live stream going for it. When will it happen? I don't think they actually know. I'm pretty sure they're not sure how long it might take, when it might happen. I think they think it'll be over the weekend, most likely. I'm just trying to see if they've put out an update. No, last update is about 4 hours ago. Yeah, about 4 hours ago for that one. So no new real updates tonight, but if anyone hears anything overnight and they wake up in the morning and the chemical plant is just not there anymore, then we all know what happened in the morning. We'll all find out when they go, yeah, it happened at 3 a.m. in the morning and now there is no chemical plant. It was here 1 minute and was gone the next. So let me just have a look. Yeah, it looks like they're not really. Yeah, that's a good photo of the tanks. There you go. So it is these ones that are failing. And eventually, I mean, I guess they're eventually just gonna go kaboom. It's gonna be a interesting weekend for people in Garden Grove. All right, let's get out of here. Huh. Said I can't talk, got across. Weird. Must be something for YouTube, not on us. We didn't do anything. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. We've been on the air like hours and hours, and yeah. Hey, I want to thank those people that donated to the show tonight. That was really kind. Lisa did, and Sean did, and then we had Robert from yesterday, and my friend Penguin as well, and my friend Kathy and Carla, and a bunch of other people. Very kind people. Who else? Sean. Yeah, my friend Penguin. My friend Jay-Z. Not the one that raps, but a different one. And yeah, we had so many nice people. So hey, I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. I will keep an eye on this tank thing. If, like I said, if they start going like 0 critical, and we're like, okay, they're like, we think it's going to happen, and they start running that live stream, I'll come back and we'll watch it together. Okay. I love you all. Have a great Saturday out there. And yeah, Robert, have a good day out there in the UK. For all my UK friends, have a good day. And yeah, Sean said if you missed it, watch the replay of the UFOs. The UFO was pretty fun. Good night, everyone. Have a great Saturday. If you're not going to come back, you're going to go do something for the Memorial Weekend. Have a great Memorial Weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Actually, on Monday or Tuesday, depending when you get back. But if you're going to go away for Memorial Day weekend, have fun and be careful, drive safe, and get back home in one piece. All right. Be careful out there. Good night, everyone. Bye.